Hi, this is Kevin from Pinnacle Eco Clean in Rochester, New York. We're your source for Oriental rug cleaning and washing in Western New York. The purpose of this presentation today is to remind our clients of the danger of moth damage on your fine Oriental rugs. And it could be said too that much of this information can apply equally well to your wall-to-wall wool carpeting, as well as even to wool items that you might have in your home, perhaps your clothing or other furniture in your home as well. First, we're going to take a moment to look at an actual rug we recently took in for a client who had a problem in his whole home. Then we'll talk about how this type of damage can be reduced or even prevented from happening in the first place. Also, at the end of our video, we'll have a special reminder for people who are so-called empty nesters, perhaps those whose children have moved out of the home, or perhaps those who live alone in a fairly large home, and things that they can be mindful of in their home to help protect their rugs as well. First now, let's look at that rug together that was brought into our shop. We have here a client's rug that has severe moth damage. Sometimes you can't tell by looking at the rug from the top, but if you turn the rug over, you can obviously see areas of damage. You see where it's white? Those white lines are actually the warped yarns that continue through the rug and eventually become the fringe of the rug. So it's the rug's foundation. This rug has been eaten away by moth larvae from the back of the rug to its cotton foundation. They simply keep eating the wool till they hit the cotton and then move over and keep at it till the wool is gone. Severe moth damage in the case of this rug. Now we're looking at actually the other end of the rug, and you can see there's much more severe damage here to the rug. We're looking at the top of it rather than the underside. Now the reason that this part of the rug had damage, whereas the other end it was just on the bottom, is that this end of the rug was under the person's sofa. So because of that, this area was really hidden and the moths could do their damage basically unseen. Moths like areas of low light and not being disturbed, and this made a perfect storm for moth damage. If you notice here, I can even take this rug and just pull out tufts of the wool. It will just easily pull out. That's how badly damaged this entire rug is. I want to take a moment to show you something else about this rug with regard to the moth damage. You see this intricate teal colored pattern here on the border of this rug, how it continues, but in the area where the moths are really having their way with it, they've eaten that away, but they've left perfect outlines of the red color virtually untouched. We've seen rugs where this has been done, it looked like a machine did it. It's simply because the moths find that color for some reason more appealing than the adjacent colors, and you have the loss of fiber in those areas. So then, how can damage like we just saw be reduced or even prevented? We've noticed the following items. First, simply put, moths just seem to love dirty rugs. So keeping them in a clean state, attending to things like food and drink spills quickly will certainly help the situation. Secondly, moths seem to love dark areas. Remember the area that we looked at the rug where it was underneath the sofa, where it's dark and it was just destroyed? Also the area underneath the rug where it's also dark, where it had a lot of damage as well. As a side note, if you have any woolen or silk wall hangings on your walls, be sure to inspect behind them as well, because they can be targets, of course, for moth damage. Moths also seem to like areas that are undisturbed. If you don't vacuum regularly, the likelihood of damage will be increased. So then, let's put all this together then and talk about how we could perhaps reduce or prevent moth damage. First, keep your rugs clean. If you're going to be storing your rugs, make sure you have it cleaned first before you roll up and put that rug away. We have a process that we can use to clean, wrap, and have your rugs stored safely so that that will prevent or reduce moth damage. Also, at the time of cleaning, we can apply a moth resist to both sides of your rug to help prevent damage. Also, of course, vacuum and inspect your rugs regularly. And at this moment, in connection with that, we have a special message to you who may be so-called empty nesters. Perhaps your children have moved away, you're in your home alone now, or perhaps you live by yourself in a large home that you have. We've noticed that many of the rugs that we receive that have damage are from people that are in that situation. Why would that be? Well, when you think about it, you may have a large home, and there may be rooms in your home that you don't use quite as much. Perhaps you have that sitting room, that special room with that beautiful rug and that furniture that rarely ever gets used. It's only when special people come over. So perhaps it's used just once a year. Rooms like that can be perfect targets for moth damage. When you think about it, moths like areas of low light. Those would be rooms that perhaps wouldn't be well lit during the year. Also, they like areas of low traffic. They like to be undisturbed, and that would be a prime setting for moth damage as well. So if you're an older one, or perhaps you're a younger one, you have parents or grandparents in that situation, take the time to inspect your rugs on both sides frequently to make sure that that type of damage can be reduced. If you have any other questions, please call us. Check out our website at rochestercarpetcare.com. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.